What's up, welcome back. I'm John Stark, BackTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which is part of this new thing that I guess Nia DiCosta gets to do for the 28 blank franchise. Um, yeah, so this is a direct follow-up to last year's 28 Years Later. It even has Alfie Williams, is that his name? Back as Spike, and Ray Fiennes is back in this as well. They're joined by Jack O'Connell, who plays Jimmy, King Jimmy, or something. I don't know. I forgot because they're all like, there are too many Jimmys in this film, and I actually kind of forgot which one he's named. Jimmy Prime, I don't know. Um, so I like Nia DaCosta's work. I liked Hedda. I liked her previous film, which was also at Amazon. So I think talented director with a lot of promise. I was a little worried that this spin-off thing wasn't going to work, that it wasn't the same director. And it's it's really good. It's surprisingly good. 20 Years Later was a film that I didn't initially like, um, and I had to rewatch again. And I think part of the problem was that I kind of binged it. Like I watched 28 days into 28 weeks into 28 years. And when you look at 28 days later, it's got this whole different vibe to it than 28 years later. And like even in like filmmaking and style, like Danny Boyle has changed and grown a lot. So I wasn't quite sure. As somebody who liked 28 Days Later back in the day, I think I did myself a disservice by like watching it that close because I wasn't able to appreciate 20 years later. So on a rewatch, I liked it more. Um, so coming fresh into Bone Temple without recently having seen the films, like within the last day or two, and with 28 years later being the last thing that I remember, now that I'm acclimated to this world, yeah, I actually like the movie. So, it takes place after the events of 28 years later, where Alfie ran into the doctor and that whole thing happened. Um, and or Spike, sorry, Spike ran into the doctor, and now he runs into the Jimmies, which is like this roving gang of nihilists who are like Satanists or whatever, and Jack O'Connell is trying to be like the new Messiah, and he's like an evil Peter Pan. He has like these kids that follow him around, and he's trained them to be like rabbit hunting dogs who go off and kill and dismember people and cut skin from their bodies, and gets really gory. So Spike is horrified by all of this because he's a good person, but he also needs to stay alive. So he ends up getting inducted into the Jimmies, although he has to wear this like fake blonde wig because like that's just what everyone does, and dress like the rest of them, like they're in this gang. I don't know, man. Jack O'Connell does a great job. He did a great job last year in Sinners, being creepy, weird, and evil, and he's doing another great job here. So, the plot is thin, but it doesn't really need to be, because you just kind of watch this little gang of misfit assholes, and they are sort of roaming and killing anything that comes in sight, including, zombies. So, or infected, whatever you want to call them here, rage virus. They take it upon themselves to enter this like homestead where there are this family, but the family's trying to, that doesn't work out well for them. It's so if, gore. I'm also trying not to spoil, but I'm also trying to suggest to you that film's gory. And all this is juxtaposed. Basically, Jack O'Connell is just basically trying to be a messiah. So he himself is trying to suggest that there's this Nick fellow that was his father, like a zombie revolution. He's told his little kids that, well, they're not that little, they're all like 10 to 15, um, that, that this prophet's going to return and they're looking for him. And then one of them ends up seeing the doctor outside of his bone temple that he's been building, and the doctor this whole time has been uh hanging out with Samson. You know, that big alpha that from the last movie? That dude's back with his giant dick, which is absolutely in the audio description. I laughed when that happened, that it made sure to let us know that he had this big floppy dick. And that's just, he's just, I've never really put much thought as a blind person, I gotta say. I mean, obviously as a sighted person, y'all just saw it. But as a blind person, I was never like, is Samson wearing clothes? Or naked? Or like, what's up with him? And then it was answered for me. I, I don't know. For some reason, now I can't stop thinking about it. But, so this angry alpha that keeps ripping the head off of and then having the entire spinal cord come with it, which he manages to do more than once, off of things, and then eating the body or whatever. He has this weird relationship with the doctor, and he has this. There's a really kind of a cool scene where the doctor's facing off against Samson, and he has this like blow dart thing, and every time he puts the blow dart to his lips, Samson stops moving. But then when he moves it, Samson keeps moving, and then he puts it up again, and Samson stops. And so he keeps advancing. I'm like, what about this dart thing? Because he's not firing the darts yet. Like, why is Samson stopping? Like, what is it about his rage virus that's. Anyway, so the doctors figured out that he can use morphine to calm the pain. He studied the rage virus enough to know that part of it is that all the people who are having rage virus are in this like intense pain. And so when he drugs Samson and gets high with him, he has an interesting one-way conversation, but Samson is way calmer and is super chill when he's on morphine and isn't trying to kill anybody, and just hangs out with his, rocking out with his cock out in having these conversations with Ray Fox. So and Samson does try to talk at one point, so that was fun. The film doesn't really have a lot of plot going to it. It doesn't have the same like levity or gravity to it, but it's stylish and it's cool, and it's weird film, and it's clearly setting up its like own new trilogy because of the way the film ends. Spike ends up befriending one of the Jimmies, and it's like, well, maybe they'll have like a future together in part 2, Bone Temple part 2. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's fun, it's violent, it's gory, it's interesting, stylish. I think Nia DiCosta's a bright talent with a future. I didn't really spoil anything major for you, by the way, in case you're like, well, what? And it's like, there's a whole bunch of other stuff in here. I just kind of gave you a medium glimpse at the film. So, yeah, there's quite a bit that's stuffed in here that I'm skipping over to not, just to give you like A to Z without telling you the other letters of the alphabet. So, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. So that's what matters. Yes, it's super gory. It has the same sort of meanness to it that 28 Years Later had, in terms of the level of violence coming from the survivors that slayed into the thing. you know, reminiscing into the past from the people who were old enough to remember what 28 years later was, what it used to be like, all those things. I think it's well acted. Jack O'Connell, once again, creating a vibrant villain here. Ray Fiennes, great. Alfie doesn't have quite as much to do here as he did in 28 Years Later, but he's still very prominent. So, I liked the audio description here. I thought it was fantastic. One of the better tracks I've heard this year. Of course, I really like the audio description 28 Years Later as well. So, not really surprised. And I will probably remember the floppy dick for all year, just all year long. I'm gonna be like, well, where's the movie that let me know that Samson has a big, just he's just out there, just letting it flop free in the wind. It's weird because I know like society people is just like, yeah, we knew he was naked. I was like, you know what? I never thought about it. I never I never gave it a thought. You know what's weird is that, okay, so Samson, right? Has been around as this alpha, and now I know he's been naked, and we had this, but the audio description has skipped over like ethnic slash race. You know what I'm saying? And like size, relativity, like how much taller is he? Things like that. But now I know he has this nakedness to him. Like that's the thing now that I know. And it's prominent because of what of in so much that in audio description you get sort of these like little tidbits that are parsed out to you. So like if that's the thing that I'm told about Samson, I mean I know he's larger, right? Like I know he's bigger, right? But I don't know like is he like 20 feet tall? Like how big is this Goliath? So I think he's probably just like 8 to 10 feet. Like I think he's a little bit taller. Um, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I think you should see it if you like the other films. Um, and this is a worthy successor to all of that. I'm going to give it a 7.9 out of 10. I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.